Hi, guys. All right, folks. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, okay? First, I want to start with this by saying disclaimer. I am not a politician. I don't get into political stuff. I am not, this is just an open discussion, okay? I have been on this platform for years now, and I have promoted coming to Tanzania and everything that has come when it came to Tanzania and stuff like that. And of course, I can't just obviously ignore what is happening to my people in Tanzania. Like I can't. Like it's just it's diabolical. Like I can't. I have to address it. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate and look at both sides. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about it all, okay? So let's tune in with me. So the president in Tanzania has made the decision to ban all non-citizens as well as Kenyans from doing small businesses in these 15 areas, okay? I have posted it on my status on YouTube on what is it called? On Instagram, and I have posted it in the post section in the community section in YouTube, so you can go check it out and see like the actual official document and what it said and things like that. So I'm gonna talk about it, here, because I think it's something that needs to be talked about. So I feel it's a very sad day. Yesterday was a very sad day to a lot of expats. I want to go back a little bit. So 2 years ago, the president, maybe a year and a half ago, don't quote me, the president of Tanzania decided to basically allow she was welcoming all business people, like come in, do your businesses, da-da-da-da-da, right? Which was great. But the problem is that when there's one bad apple, it rots it for everybody else. So basically, with her making that decision, it had a big influx on Chinese people coming in and just completely taking over, pretty much. And it's not like they were coming in as investors. They were coming in as, taking regular jobs, like being wakalas and doing small time businesses and stuff like that. The reality of the truth is, again, gonna be playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying what my opinion is until the end. I'm just gonna tell you guys all of the facts, and then I will say how I feel at the end. But yeah, so you had a big influx of all these Chinese people coming into the country and just kind of taking over and building all these businesses and doing all of these things or whatever, and not building like investment jobs, not doing these like huge buildings and huge jobs and then employing a bunch of Tanzanians and stuff like that. It was like, nah, like I'm gonna come in there, do my business, basically put this other local Tanzanian business out of a job because I'm doing the same thing. Now, the reality of the truth is, and this is just the truth. The truth is that many Tanzanians don't just have millions and millions and millions of dollars to just be, to be investors. They are building their small businesses with the hopes and praying that it's going to grow really big. And then, of course, they would like to expand. So imagine you started from nothing. It's your country and you are working so hard towards it, and you're selling stuff and you're doing, maybe you're doing wakala and stuff like that, and then now you have this other person who's not from this country who's doing the same job as you but is giving better rate. They're selling things at the same cost as you, but they're or cheaper than you. They're selling it cheaper than you, but they are getting the direct source directly from China, which has become cheap for them. So the customer is going to go to the Chinese because it's cheaper, it's more efficient, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to go to you. So it's become a problem because it's putting a lot of Tanzanians out of business. So There's been big protests. There's been people have been upset about it, saying that these people are putting them out of business. Now, just to kind of rewind my thought, remember that we've been talking about on this channel for years that Tanzania does not allow foreigners to own land. I think this is what they're afraid of. I think this is exactly the reason why they don't let foreigners own land, because they're afraid that as soon as they say foreigners can own land, the Chinese, the Indians, the Arabs, everybody's going to come in and buy all of the land, and there's going to be nothing left for Tanzanians. Because look at the influx for Dar es Salaam. A big example. Dar es Salaam, back then, rent was reasonable. It was really reasonable. But because of the influx of, and back in 2020, the influx of African Americans and the influx of, all of these people who came to Tanzania, they increased the economy, right? So now the rent is ridiculously expensive, but now all of those people have left. So the high prices to live is now for those Tanzanians who are still there, who are stuck there. So it's like, I could pay $500, I could pay $700. That is not a problem. I can pay that amount of money. But then you leave the country, you increase the economy, and then now this is where it crashes, because normal people can't afford that. So this is kind of the same thing that's going on. People are upset. And I have spoken to many Tanzanians to hear different sides. I've talked to Tanzanians, I've spoken to expats, and I'm going to get into two. Okay. Again, I'm going to state my opinion at the end. This is very non-biased as of yet until the end of this video. So when I speak to my Tanzanian side of people, they're very happy with this, to be honest. They're very happy with this because they feel like it's going to be less competitors. They're going to be, like business owners can have. They feel that if you are coming to the country as an investor, you need to come into the country as an investor, not somebody who's going to come here, make a living, and only care for you and your family. If you're only going to care for you and your family, then stay in your country. Again, this is not my opinion. I'm just stating. Do you understand? Okay? Don't be coming for me in the comments. I'm just telling you, I'm going to show you both sides. Okay? That's how they feel. They have zero problem with investors. If you are coming here okay, so what does it actually mean to be an investor? Okay? The laws have changed, okay? The president amended this and the laws have changed. In order for you to officially be an investor, okay? And again, look this information up online. It's on the government website. Don't quote me directly, blah, 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 da, 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 okay? Disclaimer. But basically, in order for you to be an investor, you have to have a lot of money that most of us don't have, okay? The minimum is 500,000 US dollars, and you must not have that in a US account. It has to be in a Tanzanian account. You must have an office. You have to have your paperwork in order. Before it was an expensive process, now it's an extreme expensive process. The average expat, okay, let's talk about, now let's get into the expat part, okay? So now we know what's required, okay? And this is why I say it's a sad day for expats, because most people don't have that. Most people don't have that. Most people, from my experience, maybe they're retiring, they've saved up maybe $10,000, $20,000, and they're coming here to have, a more calmer life. Well, basically, Tanzania has pretty much made a clear message that we don't want you here unless you are an investor. We don't want you here. We don't want you to be in competition with us. We don't want you. Doesn't it sound familiar? Doesn't it literally sound like America? And I'm going to get into that, but okay. So I've already gotten so many messages from clients saying, yeah, I'm leaving, I'm out. And you know what? I can't blame them. I understand. I understand, it is now not a place. I understand why it was done, how people were taking advantage, okay? I understand that. But at the same time, I feel like there should be a middle ground, but there's not. It's like, nope, no non-citizen can now do these things. No Kenyan can do these things. And I think it's going to have a great hit on the economy here. But all we can do is wait and see. So a lot of expats, at least the ones that I have spoken to, feel that it's unfair. They feel that they are helping the economy, that they are helping this is where I kind of am all over the place with it, because I'm kind of like, if you coming out here to retire, right? Then you coming to retire. You're not coming to make money. But if you coming out here, and this is another thing, sorry, my thoughts are all over the place. This is another thing, is like, people are not doing it the legal way. People are doing it the illegal way. Come on, guys. How many people are in here with a tourist visa that is making businesses, that's living here, and they're not supposed to be doing that? It's the same thing that people are angry about in America. People are not doing things the proper way. How many people have registered a business and said, this is my business, and yet they're doing 5 other businesses? This is what's making Tanzanians upset. I feel like we shouldn't act like they don't have a reason to be upset, because I get it. I get why they are upset. I get it. They're paying full tax for everything that they're doing, but you're kind of going in the loophole. And they don't like that. I get it. Am I wrong for getting it? I get it. I get it. However, I feel that there should just be tighter restrictions. There should be more like thorough checks. Okay, you know what? Now we need to, I don't want to say like ICE, but we kind of need to start, knocking on doors and making sure, and going to businesses and making sure that they're actually doing what they're supposed to do, rather than just saying, no business. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a little cold turkey rather than gradually. You know what I'm saying? All right, we tried this. Now remember, Uganda also did this. And remember what happened? The economy completely crashed. And I feel that it's probably going to be something very similar that happens here. I also feel, as I was explaining to my husband, is you have to, as an investor, let's just say I'm an investor, I meet all the requirements. You now has to prove to me as a country, right, that it's worth investing into your country. If you're kicking all foreign people out, I don't really know how you're going to do that, because the reality of the truth is that most locals are not going to big corporation stores and are buying the expensive, $50, $100 pair of pants. That's probably a foreigner who's doing that, who's buying those things. So if you basically kick out all of the foreigners, because I feel you are kicking them out, because, okay, you don't want me to own land. You don't want me to have a business here. Why am I here? Why am I here? And to be honest, personally, me, okay, this is speaking from Diamond's perspective. If I wasn't married and wasn't completely in love, in 5 years marriage, y'all guys, then I would have been out. If I'm being transparent with you guys, I would have been out. I'd be like, nah, why? Why would I even put myself through that torture? So I get why people are leaving. I understand why people are leaving. I do. I completely get it. I'm in a different situation, and I realize the blessing that I'm in, because I have a husband who supports us, who holds us down, who makes all the income, who does everything that he's supposed to do as a man, as an African man. And, he's built us a home. We have land. I am in a complete different situation. So I don't like to put myself in a box with every other expat, because the truth is that I'm not in the same situation. I'm not in the same situation at all. So I don't like to do that. But I'm saying, if I wasn't in this situation, I would have been out. I'm telling you right now, I would have been out. I'd have been out. I would have been out. I'd have been like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on this. I'm good. Like, I don't see where the benefits are for a expat. I just don't see where the benefits are anymore. I really don't. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate because Tanzania is a beautiful country with beautiful people, amazing, but because of political parties, because of things that go on, you can't make it you can't make it almost impossible for people to live, to work, and then expect them to want to come there. It's not going to affect the tourism industry because there's always going to be tourists. The animals are always going to be there. That's not going to be affected. It's going to affect the average person, the person who wants to retire in Tanzania, the person who wants to leave America and come to Tanzania. Now, again, playing devil's advocate. So why are you coming to Tanzania? So, okay, in your mind, okay, let's just say you're an expat. In your mind, your mindset is, I have this amount of money. Okay, I have $10,000, $20,000 I have saved up. I can go to a beautiful country like Tanzania and settle down and live my life and just, you know, but you're not coming here to enjoy. You're coming here to start businesses. But the businesses that you're doing, you're not employing a huge amount of money. You're not employing a huge amount of Tanzanians. The business is to benefit you. It's not to benefit the country. How does that sound? That sounds like America. That sounds like America. So should we really be upset that Trump is doing what he's doing? If you're upset about what Tanzania is doing, then you should think why you're upset what Trump is doing. Because that's literally, all these politicians are all the same. That's literally Trump stands. I have to worry about my American people. I cannot worry about any foreigner. That's what the president of Tanzania is also saying. Trump is inviting investors. Oh, he's making it very beautiful. You can get a Visa card very easily if you come as an investor. You have to have a certain amount of money as an investor. Tanzania president is also saying you can come as an investor. Very similar, okay? We don't want people to come here illegally. That's Trump's stance. Same as her stance. She don't want people coming here illegally. People, no matter what, you have rules and you have regulations and people don't follow them. And it becomes a problem because you have to look out for your people. Are we upset that she's looking out for her people? You have to ask yourself that. And if you're upset that she's looking after her people, but you're upset that Trump is not caring about foreigners, then you kind of be hypocritical here. Because Trump wants to get rid of non-citizens. That's what he wants to get rid of. Now, I'm not trying to get too much into Trump or whatever, and I'm definitely not a Trump supporter or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm stating the obvious between political parties and stuff like that. They feel if you want to make a small business, if you want to struggle, like if you want to do all of these things or whatever, then do it in your country. Do it in America. That is their stance. Do it in America. If you're not coming here as an investor, you are not welcome to open up business in these 15 areas. I believe that these 15 areas will increase. I do. I see two things. I believe that one or two things is going to happen. One, the list is going to increase in areas that people can't have small businesses. Two, there's going to be an influx of people that leave and is going to crash the economy, and then she's going to have to change something. I believe one of the two is going to happen. In terms of the people who want to move here, if you don't have, and this is just straight honest, if you don't have at least $500,000 and come here as an investor to open up businesses and to do all this stuff, and even if you have that money, you have to prove that this is where it's going. And it has to be not in a foreign account. It has to be in a Tanzanian account. If you don't meet those requirements and you're not coming here with a income to sustain you in a different country, if you're coming here to open up a small business just to make money to get by, it's not welcomed. It's not welcomed here anymore. It's not. She's not allowing it. Also, be aware that if you have a Tanzanian helping you, if you get caught, okay, you have to pay 10 million to shillings or imprisonment. You can go to jail for 6 months, I think it said. Or if you have a Tanzanian help you, okay, okay, that person, that Tanzanian who helps you, will have imprisonment of 5 million to shillings and or 3 months in prison. So not only is risky to do, it's very risky to do. It's very risky. And please do not contact me asking me if my husband, because I cannot tell you how many times I've had people contact me and say, please, can your husband put his name under my land, under this? The answer is no. The answer is no, okay? I'm not trying to offend y'all, but no. Like, this man has 3 children, okay? We have 3 children together. He is not taking the risk to go to jail or to be fined or to do any of this stuff to help somebody that he doesn't even know. I'm sorry, but it's not happening. And I've been wanting to address this online, but I just haven't had the time to address it. But the answer is no. No, baby, it's not happening. I'm sorry. Okay, it's just not happening. Let's just say, hypothetical speaking, right? He does that, right? For a complete stranger on YouTube who contacts me, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, I love you guys, but that's what you guys are. You guys are complete strangers. You guys are strangers. I don't know you personally. Let's just say, right? Let's hypothetical speaking. He was to do that, right? He said, okay, yeah, I'll put my name on the land or whatever, He is responsible for anything that happens on that land. So let's just say you go out there and you doing something illegal. You doing a drug trade. You doing this, you doing that. You're not the one going to jail. He's the one going to jail. Why would he or anybody else possibly take that risk? Why is it that people ask people to take risks that they wouldn't normally? If he was somebody on the street in America in the supermarket, you would not ask him to do that. So why would you feel it's okay to ask to do that with first of all, with no compensation, just as a favor? Just as a favor, to take that type of risk and put his family and our children at risk because, and you could say, yeah, no, I'm not that type of person. I don't know what type of person you are because I don't know you. I don't know you. So the answer is no. And no, I don't know anybody in my life, okay? That's Tanzania that would agree to something like that. Unless it's something that's worth the risk. So that would be, you'd have to pay them a lot of money for them to be willing to sit a long time in jail to take that risk. Maybe somebody who's really in that desperation, but absolutely not. The answer is no. The answer is no. And then now, before you was able to do that and there really wasn't any consequence because you were working with a Tanzania, now they're talking about huge fines and imprisonment. The answer is hell no now. Do you understand? Not personal at all. But it's a no. It's a no. I think it's absurd to ask someone who's a complete stranger to you to do such a huge favor for you that can also put them at a great risk of trouble. The answer is no. The answer is no. And if you want to unsubscribe to me or unfollow me because of that reason, then so be it. But I'm telling you right now, the answer is no. We are not willing to take risks like that. We are not going to jeopardize our family. We are not going to definitely not going to jeopardize my husband being in jail over some nonsense. It's not happening. It's just not happening, okay? It's not happening. So, and it's no offense. It's not personal. I promise it's not personal. It's just we are people that are not willing to take those type of risks. We are people that are not willing to participate in scams. We are not people to willing to participate in any type of nonsense that the expat community got going on, because every time I hear there's always some type of nonsense going on, and this is why I stay very far from it. This is why you hear that Jules on the Run is very unproblematic. I may be problematic online with the comments and things that I say, but you will never find me caught up in no scam and, oh, people sending money and this. I don't do that, okay? I don't do that. I don't get involved with that stuff, okay? It's not happening. Point blank, period. I'm just a girl who completely fell mad in heels, which we make 5 years of marriage, in love with my Tanzanian husband, and decided to stay out here because we have an amazing support system. His family is incredible. The support system that I have in Tanzania is truly remarkable. If I could have prayed for an amazing man, an amazing family, I mean, God has truly blessed me, and I am aware of that, and I understand that I sit at a certain privilege. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not messing that up for anybody. Period. Not even my own family members. I'm not messing that up for anybody. I'm not risking to get deported. I'm not risking to, to be in jail or have my husband in jail or have to worry about having to pay $10,000 in fines because I was trying to be, I was trying to be helpful. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'm just not. And most of the time, to be honest, people are ungrateful anyways. Like, you give them information, all this stuff, and you got mad people who are ungrateful. I'm sorry, but I don't participate in that, okay? It doesn't mean I don't love you guys. I absolutely love you guys, and that's why I'm even making this video and telling you guys what it is, so that way you can make an informed decision as to what you want to do with your, because maybe I know a lot of people who had plans to come to Tanzania. Well, maybe you need to think again, again, depending on case by case individual situation. I love you guys, but there is just certain things that I am not willing to do. And I hope that you respect that, and things that my family is also not willing to do. But yeah, I think it is a very sad day for expats. I do. I think that's is going to mess up a lot of people's plans. A lot of people are going to move back or move to a different African country. Remember, you have the country that's literally right next door, which is Kenya, who completely welcomes foreigners. You're allowed to own land there. You're allowed to conduct a business there. I'm pretty sure. And you have, remember, there's 55 countries in Africa. But I think that Tanzania is closing their doors. They're closing their doors to people who are not investors, that are not tourism, and that are not, dependent on somebody else. They're closing that door. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I want you to leave me down in the comments. What do you think about this? How do you feel about this? Try to be respectful, guys. But I know it's a hot take. I know it's a hot topic. I know it's something that greatly affects many people. But tell me what you, how you feel. Like, tell me how you feel about this and how this affects you personally, or if it doesn't affect you personally, how it affects maybe your friend or somebody that you know. Like I told you, I already have many clients that have texted me and said, yeah, I'm leaving Tanzania. It's unfortunate, but I'm leaving Tanzania. I don't feel welcomed. That message was bluntly clear to us expats that we are not welcome in this country, and I'm not going to stay where I am not welcomed. And I get it. I completely get it. So, guys, tell me what y'all think. I'll talk to you later.